to the DMF. I am your host, Justin Yance, and this is episode 37, and this is the wrestling show. So, we're going to talk about, well, quite frankly, I want to talk about the state of wrestling right now. I'm going to talk about AEW and WWE. There are no pay-per-views. There's not really much else to talk about. So I'm going to give my state on how I feel about wrestling right now. So stay tuned. Okay, so my feeling on the state of wrestling as it pertains to what's going on now. I'm kind of frustrated, to be honest with you. There are good things and then there are bad things. So let's start with some of the good things. First off, I'm very excited for Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega on AEW. That should be exciting to see if the title changes or if they're going to drag this out a couple more months and the title changes probably in February. But I've got to believe that the title is changing hands on Wednesday. It's the right time. It's perfect. The other thing that I'm excited about is New Japan. Kota Ibushi versus Naito. That should be exciting. And then Jay White faces the winner. So many different combinations we can go here. I like the idea of having 2 nights on the Tokyo Dome to make this the biggest night, the biggest 2 nights in professional wrestling. For me and a lot of fans, this has surpassed WrestleMania in terms of quality because Wrestle Kingdom always delivers great matches. I like Roman. I like what they're doing here. I like his build. I like I've said over and over again, his character is sublime and it's perfect. Drew McIntyre in these past weeks has kind of started to grow on me. I'm starting to kind of see him as a top guy. He doesn't feel like just this guy that they're hanging around with the belt. And I heard somebody say on the Lapse fan, they said, it's really when you win the second title that people really start to take you seriously. And you know what? I've got to be honest with you. I think that might be right. Because now I just feel like Drew is, he feels like the top guy. He feels like the top guy on the show. And I'm liking what he's doing. So, my frustrations, though, toward the product, especially in WWE, is you got Roman, you got Drew McIntyre. I don't see what they're building. It just seems like it's still a hodgepodge of stuff that doesn't make any sense. Drew and Roman are great, but everything around them is this cartoon show that doesn't have any fluidity to it. It just goes nowhere. I'm enjoying Daniel Bryan as well. I think the plan is Daniel Bryan and Roman, and probably Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. Apparently Braun Strowman got hurt, so that's why he's not going to be on TLC. I don't know what to make of his character. I don't know what to make of a lot of these characters. They just go nowhere. They just feel like nothing. The Roman stuff and the Daniel Bryan stuff really flows because you can tell Daniel Bryan is involved. He's involved on the creative team and he's really getting things over. I'm going to talk a little bit about Kevin Owens. I like what they're doing there. I like these things. These are good things, but my problem is I don't trust the man who's running it, Vince McMahon. I think he is too old to do this. As we saw on Survivor Series, unfortunately, time has caught up to him, and I don't think he can do this much longer. There's no way he can continue to operate at this level. This thing is such a juggernaut, and from all accounts we're hearing that on SmackDown, they haven't even finished the script until like 6 o'clock. Sometimes into the show. to me, that is WCW crap right there. That's what they would do. They wouldn't have a script and they would be going live. I'm like, that is not the way we do this. Now, I think the Thunderdome was a great idea. You know, it's one of the best things they've done. And they've made it work. Do I like the piped-in crowds? No, not really. But, you know, it feels like I'm watching... It feels like a crowd. And that was the thing that was missing. So I love the Roman stuff and I love the Drew McIntyre stuff, but I feel like I don't trust this company to deliver on it. So I hope they're going to deliver on it. I mean, my fear is, you know, somebody will get over and just because it's not part of their plan, they won't go with it. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of them not listening to the fans. Now, I've talked about this ad nauseum, so I'm not going to go into it to a thing of all the pitfalls WWE has done to dismay the fans, but it's just frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan because you see the good stuff that they're doing, but then you see all these bad things they're doing. I hate the Dominic and Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins and all this triangle crap. I think it's dumb. It doesn't lead to anything and it does not excite me. As I said, I like AEW. Sometimes, though, I thought this week's episode was kind of a lame duck show. Nothing really happened. You knew nothing was going to happen. And I'm just, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing with the Inner Circle anymore. I think they have a plan, but it just, I don't know. It doesn't really flow to me in the way I want it to. So that's my frustrations there. I'm just like, is this the best we could be doing? I feel like there's too much comedy on the show. And there's too many things being thrown against the wall. But I could be wrong. I like the show as a whole. But there are bits and pieces that I would like to see. I mean, Miro, I don't know where that's going. There seems to be all these little plot lines and things. And I don't know. It's not exactly what I want. The thing that has excited me is basically been Omega and Moxley, and everything else has just kind of been like, I don't really care about this. Now I'll end on New Japan. I'm very excited for this show, as I said before. There's not really anything going on. There's the Super Juniors stuff going on. I'm just not really watching that. I probably will go back and watch that and talk about that, but I don't know, it doesn't really excite me that much. The thing that I'm excited about is are they going to give Jay White the title? Are they going to give Ibushi the title? Who's going to get this run? I feel like whoever walks out of this show at Wrestle Kingdom is going to have a long run, and I think this year will probably be the year where they split up the IC title. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, the Intercontinental title. Because the two belts, the IWGP and the IC, are been linked together for a whole year. I mean, and they've been smart. They've kept that. They've made that mean something. So when that is lost, maybe it'll mean something more. I don't know. For me, I like what they've done. So those are little things that I've seen. I'm just frustrated with WWE. I don't have faith in them. AEW, they've not done me wrong, but I'd like to see them do more. And I'm excited for the title match. New Japan, very excited. See where this goes. And with that, we'll come back and I will review the AEW show this week. So this was the Thanksgiving Eve edition of AEW Dynamite. So we continued the feud with Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. That's the big thing. They're billing it as Winter is Coming. So for all you Game of Thrones fans, you know what that means. One thing I'm noticing about the announcers is I feel like the announcers are kind of bland and they're not really excited for anything. And I mean, I've been going back and watching some of the old WWE Attitude things and listening to Jim Ross. He commanded that show. Now, I don't want to be one of the people that like just halt on him, because I know Jim is doing the best he can. It's not like he's just phoning it in. I know a lot of people think he is. maybe it's hard. I think once we have something with a lot of meat on it, he will turn into that. I mean, but that seems to be the thing. They don't. I think the announcers need to be directed more to care about things. Maybe I heard a reaction that somebody said maybe Jim Ross should just let loose on the product when he sees things that he doesn't agree with. And you know what? That might not be a bad idea. So I don't want anyone to think that this is a Jim Ross hater, because it's not. I'm just stating some of the things I've noticed from watching older things. Now, maybe he can't do that. Maybe they don't want him to do that. Maybe it's the product. I don't know. But I'd like to see a little bit more of that excitement. I mean, when I think of Jim Ross, I think of Over the Edge 98. I think of that calls that he was making. I think of, WrestleMania 15, WrestleMania 14, WrestleMania 16. I mean, WrestleMania 17. All these wonderful calls. And I really want to see that man return. But, I'm sure he has his reasons. And that's where we're going to leave it at that. So let's get into this show. Hangman Page defeated John Force Silver of the Dark Order. I thought this was a good match. It was good. It didn't excite me, but it was good. It's good, really good opener. I mean, Hangman Page is just... I think 2021 is going to be his year. He'll probably be the one to finally defeat Omega. Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Lee Johnson. That was interesting. They showed a Darby Allin, before that they showed a Darby Allin video where, he burned his car and he's posing with the TNT Championship. He does a good job with that. They had a thing where after the squash match of Hobbs, Daz grabbed a microphone and he was talking about it, and he complained that the FTW Championship is not officially recognized by AEW, which makes no sense. No, it's not going to be recognized. It's a belt you just gave him. He continued to complain, and then they cut his mic, and he's yelling at Justin Roberts. They give him a microphone. Cody Rhodes shows up like the producer, so it's kind of like, are we shooting here? I don't know where we're going with this. He said that, this was a waste of time. You're boring everybody. I don't know if he exactly said that. Cody agreed, he said, is this what you want? You want this FTW Championship to be important? He came out in the suit and everything. So Cody agrees to talk to the guys in the back, about maybe doing something with this. And then Taz was pissed because he's saying a bunch of corporate, you're just giving me a bunch of corporate speak. And then Cody says, well, why does your son want to be trained by me? Taz dropped the microphone, and he was like a little bit, they kind of played this off like, whoa, you crossed the line. And he looked like he was walking off, and then he choked out Cody with the Taz mission, which we haven't seen in a long time. So that was kind of cool to see that. The Nightmare Family made the save. A good segment. I like that segment. Eddie Kingston was interviewed by Marvez. He was asked about, he said that he's not mad. He's just really disappointed, and he expected this from Phoenix and Pac, but not Penta. John Moxley interrupted and stared down. Kingston said that, and Kingston told him to his face, he said, I didn't attack you. Because last week Moxley was attacked. The Hybrid 2 defeated Top Flight. Top Flight's really good. I like them. I thought this was a good match. And then the Young Bucks ran out to save them because they kept beating up on Top Flight. So I guess the Young Bucks are faces again. Vicky Guerrero was talking with Nyla Rose. It was okay. An FTR video package showed up. Thankfully, they're hopefully coming back, flanked by Tully Blanchard, because that was one of the best. That was the best match on to me on AEW was FTR versus the Young Bucks. And they look like they're coming back for revenge. We had Chris Jericho and Jake Hager defeating SCU. I like SCU, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't really mean anything to me. They had, the official was distracted. MJF punched Daniels with the Dynamite Diamond ring, which you'll remember from last year. It's cool they could have still using that. And then Jericho hit the Judas effect for the pin. Kazarian laid out MJF, but then the Inner Circle, kind of ganged up on them, and they had, but oh yeah, Scorpio Sky came out with the chair, so I guess they all ran, which I don't know, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, he's got a chair, but I mean they got like 8 guys. Miro and Kip Sabian debuted their new video game segment, and Orange Cassidy walked up and they kind of had a little brawl. I don't know, I didn't really care. There's a Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, so next week I guess they're going to do. So does that mean there's another ring, or is MJF going to defend the ring? I don't know. Then we're up to my favorite part of the show, the AEW World Championship contract signing between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. And Omega was doing his entrance, and then all of a sudden appears in behind him in the silhouette is Moxley, and he just decks Omega and starts beating him up. And I like the contrast between the two. Because now Omega's wearing like the suits and everything, so he's like, kind of like the corporate, it's like, hey, I'm better than you type of thing. And Jon Moxley's, the working man guy from Ohio, which he's from. And so they, starts beating him up, and Moxley said the only way that Omega could become champion would be if he can dig down deep. And Moxley continued, he said that winter is coming. And then he told Omega to, keep your aim and take your shot, because he's only going to get one. And Moxley thanked Tony and signed the contract. I mean, this was good. This was good stuff. I like that this is building it up, but I gotta believe that he's losing the title. I mean, it's the right time. If there's anybody that should beat him, it's Omega. It's poetic justice. He beat him last year in the non-sanctioned match. Now Omega's going to beat him for his title, and they can have a feud. So then we're up to Hikaru Shida versus Anna Jay. This was okay. Hikaru Shida beat Anna Jay, and then they and then we got the Abaddon returned and had the championship in her mouth. And it looks like Abaddon versus Hikaru Shida will be the next match or feud. They had a promo by Matt Hardy. He was calling himself, Trailblazer in wrestling and all kinds of things. We had Team Taz, but Taz wasn't there. And Ricky Starks said that Cody crossed the line tonight. Ricky Starks is going to be a big star. I mean, he is going to just be a big star. I can just feel it. The Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny defeated Pac and Phoenix. I thought this was not the right way to go, because why did he beat Pac on his first night back? But yeah, Phoenix made a blind tag. They took out... Kingston actually distracted the official, allowing, the Blade and the Butcher to, they hit the powerbomb neckbreaker, and then they pinned him. And I was kind of shocked there watching that. The family continued to attack them, and then Lance Archer ran out with Jake Roberts, and he did like a dive, but it looked weird. And then he did a choke slam on Kingston, but Butcher, stopped him. Phoenix popped up, and the family and Archer posing. And so it looks like Archer and Kingston are going to have a feud, which is a good choice. Good choice. But yeah, Lance Archer, I didn't get that dive. It was kind of weird. So that's it for AEW Dynamite. I'm excited for the match on Wednesday. I might do a show right after. I might do a short show just to because I'm really gonna want to talk about that show. So yeah, stay tuned, and when we're back, we'll talk about WWE. Let's start with Raw. So the big takeaway here is that so Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and AJ Styles are going to have a triple threat match. So the show started off with Adam Pearce in the ring, and they were talking about a bunch of stuff. He spoke about Survivor Series and Raw's dominant victory. They talked about... they said that somebody might be in line for a chance at Drew McIntyre. Sheamus congratulated McIntyre on winning the title again and called him... Sheamus said that he was the MVP of the team, Raw. They had an argument. And then the big takeaway here is that Braun Strowman attacked Pierce. And Strowman headbutted him, and Pierce was out, and they kind of went straight to the break. I'm not really going to review this whole show because this is just... nothing here really was that great. I thought Kofi Kingston versus and Xavier Woods versus Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. They retained the tag titles. It was an 8-minute match. It's pretty good. Riddle defeated Sheamus. This was a 20-minute match. This was really good. I mean, it's good to see Riddle get a win. They had the Firefly Funhouse segment. Asuka and Lana defeated Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Baszler put Lana in the Sufuruda clutch, but Asuka caught her in the schoolboy, and that was a win. So Lana has won again. Keith Lee defeated Bobby Lashley and went by DQ. Alexa Bliss defeated Nikki Cross. She's kind of turned into the Fiend. AJ Styles with Amos defeated Randy Orton. This was the big takeaway here. The Fiend showed up and distracted Randy Orton, and AJ Styles won with a phenomenal forearm. And that's about it for that week's Raw. So then that brings us to Riddle, Keith Lee, and AJ Styles in a triple threat match. So let's move on to SmackDown, which was a little bit better. I like this. This was a better show. They opened up with Jey Uso, and he's being shamed by Roman. And I like the way he's, yeah. Reigns is kind of upset with Uso because he told him to leave the building and he didn't. He says, I didn't ask for your help. And Reigns pointed out that, hey, you lost. What do I need you for? And he says, you lost because your teammates didn't fear me. They don't respect me. And then he says, that means they don't respect our family. This was really good. I love this character that Roman is playing, where he's like, if I don't win, I'm losing respect. He's like the godfather of the family. He takes it very seriously. And Reigns said, he said, look, I'm not begging for Thanksgiving leftovers. and he asked Jay if that's what he sees. And then Reigns, and then Heyman then walked off, and kind of got that. Otis versus King Corbin. Who cares? I find Corbin just be boring. I'm sorry. He just doesn't do it for me. And then we had the Street Profits. They lost to Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. This just reads like, who cares? The highlight of this show was, for me, was Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. This was good. They tried to, he tried to get himself counted out, and they said that, he can't. Actually, no. Actually, I'm reading that wrong. Yeah, so Zayn won by count out. They did a brainbuster on the side that I don't know why Daniel Bryan did that. I don't think he needs to do that. This was a really well worked match, so if you need to see anything, watch that. Bianca Belair defeated Natalya. I don't know. I don't like the way they're doing this. Murphy defeated King Corbin, and they basically had everybody gang up on Corbin. This felt so wrong. And then the other great thing, Kevin Owens defeated Jey Uso, and he called out Roman Reigns. He was like, "Look, come on out. And then he hit a stunner on Uso, and Reigns just kind of watched in the back from the TV, at the angle that they always have them watching, which is just stupid. Actually, no, he was watching it from the right angle. And Owens pounded on the table, and he said, "Look, I'm waiting for you." Reigns was unhappy and furious because his cousin got beat again. But we got to see the real Owens, so this was good. So I like this. So we had some good stuff there. Let's skip to tonight's Raw. Tonight's Raw, we had AJ Styles winning, and he will be facing Drew McIntyre at TLC. Should be a good match. AJ Styles is a good worker. The show began with a moment of bliss. Alexa Bliss introduced Randy Orton, and The Fiend came out, and it looks like Orton says he's kind of got he knows kind of how to beat him. We had the Symphony of Destruction match. Jeff Hardy defeated Elias. I did not care, but it was pretty good. Slack Shack defeated Ricochet. I don't even know which ones that is. It's also Miz TV, The Miz and John Morrison. Sheamus showed up. Asuka and Lana defeated the tag team champions again. This time, the New Day did a promo. He talked about, being named a host on G4. I'm happy for that. That's exciting. I like G4, and I'm happy that they're coming back. And hopefully, they will do video games and not MTV crap. So Xavier Woods will be a host on there. So I'm excited for that. Cedric Alexander defeated Xavier Woods. So of course he says something good and then he loses. Typical WWE. AJ Styles defeated Riddle and Keith Lee. Styles flew in with the phenomenal forearm on Riddle for the pinfall win. I don't know why Styles had to pin Riddle, but I guess then you'd have to spin Keith Lee. So I guess Riddle is the right guy. Dana Brooke defeated Reckoning. I don't know which one that. Oh yeah, Ricochet. I'm sorry, Ricochet is not now. Yeah, Ricochet lost to Slapjack. What a shock. Ricochet lost again. Charlie Caruso did an in-ring interview with Drew McIntyre. This was really good stuff. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus defeated The Miz and John Morrison. Then Styles showed up and he gave McIntyre a forearm. And he looked like he wanted, and then Morrison gave McIntyre the Starship Pain. And Miz gave him a skull-crushing finale. And Styles gave the ref, the Miz's briefcase, but Miz stopped it, but then he decided he was going to cash in, but it wasn't official, so McIntyre beat them up, and then Styles and McIntyre kind of taunted each other after, taunted each other. Styles being carried away by Omos was kind of ridiculous. I mean, are we supposed to take him seriously like that? It was pretty good Raw. It still doesn't do anything that really excites me, so I don't really care. But I think AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre will have a good match, and Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, that should be a good match too. Well, that's about it on the wrestling show. I don't know what else to talk about here. But yeah, 1 week into The Undertaker's retirement. Seems like it's going to stick, and yeah, I'm excited for some of these things, and let's see what happens with on AEW, because that's the big thing. Is Omega going to be the man to defeat Jon Moxley, who really hasn't, I don't think he's lost a match, so this will be his first loss. So lots on the line here, so we should get Game Face JR. He'll know how to deliver this. So that's about it. I want to thank you for listening, and I will see you next time on the... Well, wait. Let me give you the call. You can reach me on Justin Yance on anything, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram, and I'll see your message on Facebook Messenger. So that's about it. And once again, I want to say thank you, and yes, now I will sign off. I will see you next time on the DMF.